Hi, my name is Joel Malav, Master's in Mathematics and PhD in Computer Science. When I was 4 years of age, my parents left me in a daycare from which I was abducted, sexually assaulted, and I can totally relate to the concerns of parents in public schools about the safety of their children. I've been thinking about this subject for decades and unraveling the damage done to me at the time. About 3 months ago, the International Commission of Jurists produced a document that sparked uh, a wave of outrage to the effect that the UN was trying to whitewash that crime against children that cannot be named. So I took the time to settle down. I used software tools to analyze the text, and I came to a slightly different conclusion that the document by itself does not uh, promote or incite the crime that can be named, but it might make it worse. So that's how I started with this video. And then yesterday, Tucker Carlson posted his second video on Twitter, and he broached the topic, and I feel I need to give testimony to some of the things I've understood over the years on the topic. The main three reactions I've heard on the topic are: 1. You cannot destroy the innocence of children. Which is quite true, but for some people it's highly abstract, and some of the perpetrators actually enjoy doing this. So it's not a deterrent to them. There's the dancers, groomers, perspective that, well, the children loved it. You know what I think. And then there's Tucker Carlson's response yesterday, which is quite good actually, but I think it needs some more details. Tucker said, follow your instinct. The thing is that humans, we are masters of our instinct. Instinct is a behavior that always happens exactly the same way. It has a trigger and it has a completion. And it will always run from the beginning to the end. Trauma is often what results when an instinct is interrupted in the middle before it actually completes. Let me share with you what I believe is one of the most beautiful instincts of the human race. Imagine you have a 1-year-old, 18-month-old baby with you, and the baby is afraid of the cold water in the pool. Now, the hot water with mommy, might love it, but the cold water in the swimming pool, the big swimming pool, that scares him or her. So you take the baby and you rock it and you talk sweetly to it and you get into the water and you touch his toes in the water and he reacts, and then he calms down, and then you go to the ankles and he reacts, and he calms down, and then you go knee deep maybe and he goes down. He calms down, and now at that point you say, oh, you're so brave. You're not crying anymore. I'm so proud of you. The baby absorb that daddy's so proud of him that he's courageous, and that will stick to the baby, to his mind. That is the normal use of the instinct in question. It's a very powerful thing for growing up and making a man or a woman out of a baby. Now, the pervert, because there's no other word, perverts that instinct. And instead of projecting a positive image, the pervert, call it by the name it is, will project his own self-disgust in the object of his lust. This is RAPE culture. The interest in the young is that young children depend on this instinct to grow up, so they have no mechanism against it. And then there's, once that feeling has been projected on the child, the perpetrator is now free from that feeling, negative feeling, until sometime else later, because it's not really gone, right? It's just scrubbed like mold on a wall that you scrub and it keeps coming back. The image I have of this is that the unloving adult vomits its own self-disgust into the face of the child. And the act can be violent, or it can be subtle. The projection can be violent, or it can be subtle. In my case, it was violent. I still see the face of that person to this day. What's the damage? Well, to the child has no mechanism to deal with that self-hatred. So he may become a scapegoat. That was my case. No hard feelings on the parent. This is the result of an injury. Now, shame is a very difficult emotion to deal with. 200 years ago, people would gladly kill each other because of shame. And so it's extremely addictive to have a child that's a natural garbage bin for the shame of one or the other, a scapegoat. That poisons the relationship in the family. So one single act of lust destroy a child, damage his immediate family, and then that goes on to the future family, because the child now has his radar, his perception modified, and may not be able to pick up the signs of abusers that come. The abuser, from a Christian perspective, is also armed. Because you see, once the child accepts the negative, the self-loathing, the abuser has a much harder time of reconciling the reality with his dream of shameless life. How is society hurt? Well, there's all the wannabes who will trigger you for a good purpose, right? It's for your good, they'll trigger you. There's a therapist that says, how did you deal with the fact that it was pleasant? Tell me. Right. Or You want to learn about characters because you know you got major character flaws and you take a survey. And the survey tells you that you're unlovable, you're low life, um, you have little moral values, you're nothing. But the problem is, of course, that in order to have a routine to rebuild your life, you need what it takes to build a routine, which are relationships and hope. So these do-gooders actually push you in the hole. That's another way that hurts society, because each time you hurt a man or a woman or a child, you actually hurt yourself and you hurt the society around you. What can you do to help yourself out knowing that there's not necessarily help around? There's a lot of magic pill pushers, but real help is far and few. That's my experience. I'm not giving you advice here. Two things that have helped me is one, realize that every situation includes a position of strength. And if you're willing to forgive, not forget, and move on, then you can assume that position of strength that no other experience would have given you. Why forgiveness? Because as long as we resent what somebody has done to us, it's very, very hard to try to find a silver lining. That's that. And the other thing that you can try, that I recommend you try, have you noticed that like our society doesn't like joy? When it's marketing, it's all about fear, it's all about justice and anger. Very few people talk about joy. Be open to the idea that joy may enter your life again and to welcome it. That actually takes a lot of courage. Joy is like water. A trickle will turn into a stream if you let it do so. And the advantage of this thing I'm proposing to you is that if you know your position of strength and you choose to direct your life based on joy, you will be unstoppable. And so that's all I want to say today. Take care, bye.